Hey everyone, welcome to this video about the court cards in the suit of discs. I've already done an introduction video on the court cards. I recommend watching this before this video so that you understand the basics and then you can move into the more detailed view that we are taking in this video. So I'm going to use the Mucha Tarot once again. As I explained in the Wands video, this tarot deck has very sublime court cards. It's great to learn with. So we are going to look at some of the imagery in order to understand the energy of the court cards better. Now, grab your court cards of the disc suit and we will look at them now. Starting with the Page of Discs. As I've said in the intro video, pages, you know this by now, have the energy of Earth, and the discs also have the energy of Earth. So we have a combination of Earth, double Earth. So that's double the comfort, double the reliability, also double the slowness probably. So this is basically, the page is about a very reliable helper that you can call upon. It can be another person, but it can also signify a very trusted ability that you already have that you can really depend upon. So if you are struggling with something and the Page of Discs comes up, it could be a reminder to think of what you've already learned, what abilities and skills you have, what tools you have in your toolbox in order to improve your life. Beyond that, the Page of Discs is also the willingness to be patient and the willingness to cultivate patience and conscientious work. That's such a weird word for non-native speakers, in order to reap the benefits of a certain situation. And more than any other card, this card embodies slowness and slow learning. Learning about what? For example, housekeeping, money, routines, habits, physical health. This is basically the card telling you to sit down and take the time to study a little bit before you do anything else, or to ask the help of someone who knows more about a certain topic than you do. Then with the Knight of Discs, we of course have the combination of the Knight energy, which is fire, and the disc energy, which is earth. So we have earth and fire. Now, if you look at the card, you can see that this is the only card that is facing away from us. All of the other knights, they go towards us in the picture, and the Knight of Discs is just sort of going away from us, but looking over his shoulder, making sure that we are following. So the Knight of Discs is really the strongest support, but also a very strong guide. The supporting character is the page, and the guide is the knight, we could say. This isn't just someone or some ability that you have that you can call on if you need specific help, like the page, but it's also something that you can depend upon to guide you reliably in the dark, even if you don't know what you want to do. With the Page of Discs, it's more about knowing what you want to do and enlisting help, and the Knight of Discs is more about being guided by someone if you don't quite know what you're supposed to do. And this guidance can come from within yourself or without yourself, obviously. The Knight of Discs is also a call to pay attention to the benefits that a situation holds. If you read about a specific situation, then this will not only refer to patience, but also to the reward at the end of that journey. And by read, I obviously mean reading cards. Remembering your why. Remembering your motivation to stay at it, to keep at it. That's what the Knight of Discs is all about. Now, the danger with this card, or the cautionary aspect, is that sometimes you can move a bit too slowly, too carefully, and that you are slowed down by practical concerns, that you are maybe being too practically minded and you need a little bit more, logic, or a little bit more emotion and a little bit more passion, rather than just thinking about how to do something conscientiously and slowly. Don't get too engaged in busy work and keeping yourself busy, but think about how you can take effective and fast action as well. If this card comes up reversed, or if it comes up in a position of, where you feel like the energy is more cautionary, you shouldn't follow the Knight of Discs too much. With the Queen of Discs, she is what I like to call the queen of adulting, because adulting It's hard, you know. We all have that part of ourselves though, where we can handle life's tasks. We can handle the hurdles that it gives us. We can handle life in general. Who cares for you, who cooks for you, who cleans for you. Now, this has nothing to do with femininity, but it has everything to do with the fact that all of us have this part of self-care knowledge within ourselves. We can all take care of ourselves in different ways, and the Queen of Discs reminds us of that. As with the Queen of Cups, we sort of have this danger though of self-sacrifice and of perfectionism, because the Queen of Discs is sometimes a little bit stern, a little bit perfectionistic, too detail-oriented. It's a very Virgo energy if you're into astrology and understand that. With the King of Discs, we are combining the air energy of the kings that they represent with the earth energy of the discs. And what we get with this is a decision-making process that is very based on physical factors like health, money, legacy, being accurate, being perfectionistic about things. So he's basically the ultimate builder, the King of Discs. Almost a bit like the Emperor, who builds his own empire and always has a solid plan that they follow. So it's definitely a great card to draw when you're asking about business ventures that should stand on very solid ground. However, not in the conception phase. If you are trying to start a business and you need a creative idea, you need that creative fire, then the King of Discs isn't the right person to ask. He's more about the practical concerns, about you know, sticking to the laws, about making sure that you have enough money to go after this business venture. Now, the danger, of course, with this card is to get too focused on physical concerns and mixing up the logic of risk and reward, because taking a risk can be a good thing if you can get a good reward for it. But with the King of Discs, he's not a risk taker. He's not taking any chances, not being daring. He's always in need of a bit of a plan. So this could be something you need to be careful about with the King of Discs coming up, that you don't focus too much on needing to have everything planned out for you building a business, you establishing a new workout routine or any sort of new routine that you want to do, but rather to see the other aspects as well, not just the physical aspect, not just the monetary aspect. So that's it for the court cards in the disc suit. I will link all of the other court card videos below. Let me know if you have any questions, if you have any ideas what I should film about, and I will also link my Instagram and my Patreon. If you want to follow me there, feel free to subscribe. I'm always happy about that, and I hope that you have the greatest of days and the greatest of weeks.